Lesson 7, First Aid. Why is first aid so called? First aid is so called because it is the very first activity which is done to save the life of a victim of an accident before the doctor arrives. What does first aid teach you? First aid teaches us to give immediate help to the injured or victim of an accident so as to save his life before the doctor arrives. It also teaches us what we should do immediately and what we should not do. What is the role of a first aider? The role of a first aider is to give immediate help to the injured to save his life before the doctor arrives. Does a first aider take the place of a doctor? Why? A first aider cannot take the place of a doctor because he is not trained as a doctor. He just helps the injured or victim of an accident to survive till the doctor arrives. What do you understand by first aid? I understand by first aid that it is the very first help which is given to the victim of an accident to save their life before the doctor arrives. What should one not do when one's clothes have caught fire? When one's clothes have caught fire, one should not run from one place to another and should not pour water on oneself, because running causes fast burning of the fire and water will create immediate blisters on the skin. What are the agents of fire? The material, air, and high temperature are the agents of fire. If air, that is oxygen, is cut off, the fire will stop. How can you keep out the air? By lying down, covering oneself with a blanket, and rolling on the ground may keep out air. In doing so, we should also avoid running here and there. What should one use in place of blankets to cover one's body? One should use gunny bags in place of blankets. Why does one get fainted? Fainting occurs when blood does not reach the brain. What should one do if someone faints? If someone has fainted, one should send for the doctor immediately. Till then, make one lie down and raise the legs so that the blood flows back to the brain. Loosen all tight clothes and let him get plenty of fresh air to breathe. Apply cold compress on the forehead. What is first aid and its importance? First aid is the help given to a victim of an accident at the very first time before the arrival of the doctor. It is important as it can keep the injured alive till the doctor arrives. Hold the tips of the nose with your finger and don't allow him to breathe. Won't the patient die? Why not? No, the patient would not die because he will breathe through his mouth instead of breathing through his nose. What should be given to drink when a fainted man has regained consciousness? When a fainted man regains consciousness, he should be given warm drinks like tea and coffee. Even hot water could do well. What should one do when someone has spilled boiling water on himself? If someone has spilled hot water on oneself, keep the portion in cold water for 20 minutes. After that, cover the blister with a clean piece of cloth. Consult a doctor. What is the use of learning first aid? The use of learning first aid is that One can know how to help an injured or wounded man after an accident before a doctor arrives on the spot. You can help save a life. What should be done when someone's nose is bleeding? When someone's nose is bleeding, hold the tip of one's nose with your fingers and allow one to breathe through one's mouth. Wipe his face with a wet handkerchief, then the bleeding will stop. What would you do when someone has fainted? When someone faints, one reason is that blood is not reaching his brain. So one should put his head down and raise his legs. Cold water should be splashed on his face. When he is conscious again, give him warm drinks as coffee, tea, hot milk, or hot water. Call a doctor immediately. Thank you.